What's up guys, Tony the Arcade Dad here, and I have gotten a lot of emails and a lot of messages asking me how my recovery is going, what happened during the surgery, even telling me that they have a surgery that they are scared of, going into, and they're afraid of what's going to happen after the surgery. So in this video, what I am going to do is I'm going to share my experience from my surgery all the way up through the recovery until where we are at today. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Enjoy the bonus video, and we're gonna start right now. Alright guys, so we are going to start from the surgery itself, the back surgery. What happened was I had a herniated disc that was pushing up against my sciatic nerve, and it was causing me Trey's super happy, a great deal of pain shooting down my lower back, through my hips and down into my left leg. It was really difficult for me to deal with in the days coming up to the surgery. And then we ended up going in for the surgery itself. I was afraid of going into the surgery mainly because there was ice and a little bit of snow on the road the night before. We had a really big freeze and all that good stuff. So I was afraid that the roads wouldn't be plowed enough because I had to be at the hospital at 5:30 in the morning. We get to the hospital and just prepping for surgery. Of course, my nerves were racking because I'm going in for surgery. I've never had a back surgery before. I had no idea what to expect physically from the surgery. I'm going to be flashing up a couple pics as I talk about this. So I go into recovery, and they actually let Jen, or not recovery, I went in for preparation, and they actually let Jen go in with me, which was really, really cool. And she took a couple pictures of me while they were prepping me for surgery. Getting me hooked up to my IVs, and even put me in a wheelchair to wheel me out to surgery. So they let her be a total part of that. I only remember about half of that until I actually woke up from my surgery in the recovery room, which of course they let Jen be there waiting for me as well. So I made sure to write down a bunch of stuff while I was doing my initial recoveries and stuff, almost like a little journal, because I wanted to make sure that I could remember different bits and pieces of everything that happened. And I got a lot of my notes, right here in front of me, just so I can reference them while I talk to you about exactly what happened. So after the surgery, we went over and we stayed with our friends Buddy and Chris Campos, their son Eugene, and we stayed with them for a couple weeks. They could help out with the entire recovery process, help us take care of Trey. And Jen was a huge help during this entire process. The first couple weeks, like week 1 through almost halfway through week 3, she pretty much took over the Arcade Dad social media, and she even edited a few of the videos that I didn't get to finish editing to put up for you guys in advance while I'm recovering. She actually took care of all that. So guys, if you guys sent a message or made comments and stuff, a lot of those replies actually came from Jen herself, not me. So the entirety of the first week I pretty much spent in a bed. I got up to go to the bathroom. I got up a little bit to get food, but a lot of the times I just ate where I was at. It was very, very painful, but I was on medicine to help me cope with that, and that medicine helped me cope by pretty much putting me in like a small coma, I guess, for the first week. So I really didn't feel too much pain. Whenever I did, it was whenever I was awake, and it was going to the bathroom or doing something like that. But the first couple weeks after surgery are always tough because you have to pretty much start the healing process. So the first week I just pretty much spent in bed and watching YouTube videos while I was awake. That was all I could do. Week 2 was pretty much more of the same, but there were a couple additions into it. I was slowly waking up a little bit more often, instead of just being in a coma all week. And I was able to start talking to people, having full conversations without going to sleep because of the medication. And having these conversations, again, I deal with stress, and I deal with, having a hard time with comedy. I try to make people laugh whenever I'm de-stressing and talking about a lot of this stuff. And that, I think, made people feel a little bit less sorry for me for having the surgery, and made them want to mess with me while I was asleep. So I'm putting a picture up right now of Buddy actually messing with me while I was asleep in a reclining chair. He's acting like he's feeding me with a baby bottle. I never even knew this picture existed until Jen sent me the picture yesterday. So moving into week 3, after people got sick and tired of messing with me. It stopped being so funny with them because they couldn't see my reaction because I was asleep. This is the week that I actually started to feel like I was beginning to recover. I was awake a lot more often, you know, I was having more conversations. With Jen's help, I was even able to actually get up and out of the bed and move over to the couches and eat with everybody else, which was really cool. You know, getting up was still kind of a really big issue for me. You know, with the back was still really hurting and recovering. The stitches were starting to heal and come out. And but Jen was able to help me out a lot, getting up, moving to where I wanted to go. And if I wanted to go into the kitchen, she could help pick me up and put me to where I could go into the kitchen, which was really, really cool. The only issue that I found with this was with more movement, there was a little bit more pain. So, you know, I still had to take the medication, which put me to sleep. But whenever I was awake, people always wanted a photo op with me. It was really, really funny. There weren't too many of us in the house at the time, but you know, there was always selfies. And even after the selfies, if I was still awake, I was able to, you know, kind of get on the computer and start putting pieces of the videos together in the editing software, which was a great way for me to de-stress from the situation and to keep my spirits high and motivation high. You know, putting these and editing these videos for you guys on YouTube definitely helped get me through the majority of this process. You know, a lot of the clips and videos that you guys have been seeing recently have been from like December and January time frame. But it's still fun to, you know, take those old videos, piece them together, and put them out for you guys. And I was finally able to slowly start doing that in the little bit of time that I was awake. But I think the best time that I had during week 3 of recovery was Jen was finally able to start like plopping Trey down on me for a couple of minutes. So I actually got to lay down with Trey and like talk to him and hold him for a little bit. And that was just absolutely incredible. Okay, moving into week 4. This is when stuff started happening. This was a very, very crazy and busy week for us. You know, the end of this week was a month after the surgery. And like I said, from weeks 1 to 3, we stayed with our really good friends, Buddy and Chris Campos, and their son, Eugene. They had their kids come over and visited us all the time. Their other kids were Tiffany and May, their significant others, John and Robert. We also had their other 2 sons, EJ and Francis, come visit us on the regular basis, which was a lot of fun. However, week 4, I was awake, you know, a lot longer than normal. The issue was that the medicine that I was on made it to where I wouldn't fall asleep until about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, so I wouldn't even wake up until noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But I was awake for the rest of the day, which was good, other than, you know, a nap here or there due to the medicine whenever I was in a lot of pain. So this was the week that Jen and I finally came home. So we came home and went to the doctor's visit, and he checked on everything for me and said, yeah, your recovery looks like it's on track. And we started doing physical therapy. And it was grueling, man. We started doing physical therapy. It was, you know, 3 times a week on site, and every day that I wasn't doing it on site, I was doing it from home. And I'm gonna look at my notes here to make sure that that I'm actually getting everything that actually happened that week, because it was crazy. But yeah, the physical therapy was a really big, it was, starting it was very painful, just because I was doing movements that I didn't do since my surgery, and everything in physical therapy is about rebuilding the muscles in the lower back and making sure everything is in the right spot. So it was very painful, but it's very helpful in my recovery. So that's what we started doing at the end of week 4. Moving into week 5. Week 5 was a lot of physical therapy. That was the main focus of week 5, was just non-stop physical therapy. Again, it was 3 times a day. Or 3 times a week at on-site physical therapy, but it was an hour at a time this time. And every day I wasn't on site, again, was doing home physical therapy. The cool thing about this was my doctor instructed me that I need to be getting out and moving more instead of laying around as much. So I actually had to go outside and walk for at least 15 minutes twice a day, which was really cool because I was actually outside and I was walking mostly unassisted. Before this time, I actually was walking with my cane every single time, but doing this extra walking, I would do one time with the cane in the morning, and then in the afternoon when I was loosened up, I would do it without my cane. So that was really cool. I was getting out and doing some walking inside, you know, on the sidewalk out in front of the apartment, which was awesome. Trey is in an amazing mood right now, by the way, guys. So that was awesome. And speaking of Trey, I was even able to start holding Trey while I was kind of in a reclining position. So I'd be on the couch like this, kind of propped up, and actually holding Trey. You know, Jen would plop him on me and I was able to hold him. So that was actually really, really cool. So very busy week with physical therapy and actually doing physical stuff, and feel like I'm actually physically progressing forward towards recovery was just an awesome feeling. Moving into week 6. So at the end of week 5, I had another doctor's appointment on Friday of week 5, and the doctor increased my walking time to 30 to 45 minutes of walking. 15 of those minutes to be assisted and the other 30 minutes to be unassisted, meaning 15 with the cane, 30 minutes without the cane, 2 to 3 times a day, which was awesome. So I was able to actually like start grocery shopping with Jen again, which was to me super fun, even though I absolutely hate grocery shopping. But I can actually get out of the house, I can actually get out of the house, go to the grocery store with Jen, and, you know, walk with her while she grocery shops, which was really cool. I was also able to hold Trey while standing up, which was really cool. I couldn't pick him up, you know, from the floor or the couch or anything like that, but Jen can hand him off to me, and I could actually hold Trey while standing, which was really, really cool. I could also pick up light objects off the floor, which was really cool as well. However, week 6 did not totally go as planned. We did all the exercises, I did all the physical therapy, and I should have been good to go at the end of week 6. My recovery should have been over, and I should have been, for the most part, pain-free, and I should have been able to continue life as I previously did before the surgery. Whenever I went to the doctor's office at the end of week 6, I was still having some pretty bad pain. At the end of the days, whenever I'd be doing everything as instructed by the doctor, I still had significant pain in my lower back and trouble sleeping because of the pain that was going into my leg from the nerve itself. So he did a scan, and he saw that not only did the nerve not move to exactly where it was supposed to during the physical therapy, but it was also slightly inflamed as well. And he pretty much said, yeah, so we have to continue your recovery for at least another 2 weeks. Now, this brings us to today. I can still grocery shop. I can walk for the most part, about 99% of the time, without my cane. However, it is a bit of a demotivator. I was really hoping to get back into doing everything that I was previously doing, but I can't. At this point in time, I'm still working towards recovery, and as of right now, I'm back on the 3 times a week at an hour and a half per session physical therapy on site. I have to walk 3 times a day now for 45 minutes to an hour to try and align this nerve back to where it needs to go, and plus I have a lot of home physical therapy activities that I have to do every day, you know, to make sure that I'm able to bend the right way, because even if I bend at the waist right now, I can only go so far without it hurting or without, you know, it feeling really, really tight for some reason, and that's pretty much the nerve getting compressed where it shouldn't be. So this adventure is still moving forward, guys, but I want all of y'all to know, if you are scared of going into a surgery, or if you are scared of something that is going to happen or that you have to do, just do it. You know, don't be a little bit apprehensive about it. I'm not saying don't be scared, but if you're scared, just know that, you know, after your surgery or after whatever happens, you have that, you know, you have emotional support out there with you. You have people that are going to come in and try to help you as best they can. You're also going to have people that are going to be out there to bring you down, or negative influences that are going to call, and you don't let that bother you. Don't let the negative influences impact you whatsoever. Focus on the positive and stay positive, and just, you know, go through your recovery and have a blast just like I'm doing, and make sure that you can be fully recovered and back on your feet as soon as possible. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. The reason that I decided to share with all of you guys is because I've gotten many messages and many emails asking me to, you know, to send them you know, like how the recovery has been like after my surgery, or what happened through the recovery. And that would be a very, very long email for me to type out and send like constantly. So I really hope you all enjoyed this video. And guys, remember, the month of March is actually Gamer Green Adventure Month. So I want to encourage all of you to go out and go on some kind of adventure. You know, I'm in the middle of my adventure for recovery right now, and I wanted to share that with all you guys. So definitely go out and do an adventure and post about it to encourage other people to go out and go on an adventure. You know what I mean? And whenever you do go out there and do your adventure, make sure that you use the hashtag GGAdventure whenever you post it on social media, so more people can see that you went on your adventure and you took pictures or you took a video of it, and that's going to encourage them to get up and go out on their own adventure as well. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that I was able to get the message across to you guys to not be scared of something that's going to happen. You know, just stay motivated and stay positive, and everything's going to work out phenomenal for you guys. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helped some of you out there. And always remember, guys, if you have trouble finding your inner child, it's probably at the arcade. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.